Born as Tamela Jean Johnson on June 9, 1966, in Fort Worth, Texas, Tamela Mann's journey to stardom is a testament to faith, perseverance, and profound resilience. Growing up as the youngest among 14 children, she was raised in a deeply religious home where attending the Church of God in Christ wasn't just tradition, but a way of life. From her earliest days, Tamela's world revolved around gospel music, her powerful soprano voice echoing through the church choir, capturing both the spirit of her faith and the attention of those who heard her sing. Her upbringing laid a spiritual foundation that would become the anchor for every triumph and trial she would later face. As she matured, Tamela's life would intertwine with that of David Mann, the man who would become both her husband and creative partner. The two married in 1988 and would go on to raise a family together, navigating the joys and challenges of blending their lives, especially as David had a child from a previous relationship. Their union was not just a romantic partnership, but a collaboration that would see them become a beloved duo in the worlds of gospel music, stage, and television. Tamela's emergence in the professional music scene began in the early 1990s when she joined forces with Kirk Franklin and the Family, a gospel group that would quickly rise to national recognition. Her voice soared on tracks like Now Behold the Lamb, earning her accolades and establishing her as a force in gospel music. But her talents didn't stop at singing. In 1999, an encounter with Tyler Perry would launch both Tamela and David into the world of acting, with roles in Perry's stage plays such as I Can Do Bad All by Myself and Medea's Family Reunion. Tamela's transition to film included memorable appearances in Diary of a Mad Black Woman, Meet the Browns, and Medea Goes to Jail, where she brought warmth and humor to her characters, endearing herself to an ever-growing audience. Yet Tamela's rise was not without hurdles. Early in her career, her weight became an obstacle, often leading to missed opportunities in both music and acting. The entertainment industry's narrow standards of beauty meant that, despite her immense talent, doors were sometimes closed. Rather than let discouragement define her, Tamela chose to focus on her health, embarking on a journey with Weight Watchers that would see her lose nearly 50 pounds, not for the approval of others, but to invest in her own well-being and longevity. This personal transformation mirrored the resilience she brought to every aspect of her life. Perhaps one of the most testing moments in Tamela and David's marriage came when Tamela learned of the child David had fathered before their marriage, a truth he had kept hidden. The revelation was deeply painful, shaking the foundations of trust that had anchored their relationship. For Tamela, whose marriage was built on faith, honesty, and mutual respect, this felt like a betrayal not just of her trust, but of the sacred bond they had nurtured. The emotional aftermath was intensified by their public lives, as private struggles became exposed to public scrutiny. But Tamela, grounded in her faith and guided by the principles of forgiveness and open communication, chose not to let this crisis shatter their union. Together, they faced the pain head-on, engaging in difficult conversations and seeking spiritual counsel. David accepted responsibility for his actions, and Tamela found the strength to forgive. Their shared commitment to healing and transparency allowed them to rebuild, integrating David's child into their family and forging a bond stronger than before. Their willingness to share this experience has made them relatable to countless fans, showing that even the deepest wounds can heal with communication and faith. Tamela's life would be tested again in 2020, a year that brought with it immense personal and global challenges. That year, she underwent double knee replacement surgery, a daunting procedure undertaken to address years of chronic pain and mobility issues. Recovery was grueling. Regaining the ability to walk, stand, and perform required months of physical therapy, patience, and sheer determination. The pain and frustration of recovery were compounded as Tamela also navigated menopause, a stage that brought with it its own physical and emotional upheaval. Symptoms like hot flashes, fatigue, and mood swings layered atop the discomfort of surgery, creating a perfect storm of challenges. As she struggled through these overlapping trials, the world was thrown into chaos by the COVID-19 pandemic. Isolation, disrupted routines, and the inability to connect with loved ones or perform for audiences made the road to recovery even lonelier. But Tamela leaned on her unwavering faith, drawing strength from prayer and her belief in God's plan. She tackled physical therapy with the same discipline she brought to her music, and she adapted her self-care to address the changes brought on by menopause. Amid these personal battles, the loss of Chadwick Boseman in August 2020 cast a shadow over the entertainment community, particularly among those in the Tyler Perry universe where Tamela and David had built their careers. Boseman's passing, after a private struggle with colon cancer, was a shock to many, including Tamela and David, who shared not just a professional connection, but a sense of kinship with him and the broader Perry community. Boseman's legacy, defined by roles that celebrated Black excellence and resilience, resonated with Tamela and David's own commitment to uplifting stories and perseverance. Their public tributes to Boseman reflected both their grief and admiration, as they joined fans and peers in mourning a life cut short, but lived with purpose and dignity. The loss underscored for Tamela and David the fragility of life and the importance of cherishing every moment, a philosophy they carried into their art and personal lives. Tamela's journey through the entertainment industry was marked not just by her successes, but by the obstacles she overcame. The rejection she faced due to her body size was not just a professional setback, but a deeply personal struggle. The industry's focus on appearance over talent was a constant reminder of the biases that persist, especially for Black women and plus-size performers. Tamela's response was to reclaim her narrative, choosing health and self-worth over conformity. Her partnership with Weight Watchers was about more than losing pounds. It was about affirming her value and inspiring others to do the same. By openly sharing her journey, Tamela became a beacon of hope for those who felt marginalized, showing that self-love and determination could triumph over society's narrow definitions of beauty. Her resilience bore fruit in her music, with albums like Best Days, One Way, and Overcomer earning critical acclaim and industry awards. These works reflected not just her vocal talent, but her ability to channel life's hardships into songs of hope, faith, and perseverance. Her performance at NPR's Tiny Desk concert in 2023 was another milestone, proof that her voice and spirit remained as powerful as ever. Throughout her life, Tamela Mann has faced betrayal, health crises, grief, and professional rejection, but each challenge has only deepened her faith and strengthened her resolve. With David by her side, she has built a legacy rooted in love, communication, and the courage to face difficulties head-on. Their shared journey, marked by both pain and joy, has made them role models to many. Tamela's story is ultimately one of overcoming, of finding purpose in adversity, of loving herself and her family through every trial, and of lifting others with her voice and her example. Her life proves that even when the world tries to define you by your struggles, you can choose to define yourself by your strength, faith, and unyielding hope.